So let's get started. How to avoid 5 common mistakes when hiring your VA. I don't know about you, but maybe you've been thinking about hiring a VA already and you've been putting it off or procrastinating, or maybe you've tried hiring a VA in the past and you found it not a pleasant experience. And it can be quite difficult as we juggle all these balls up in the air as a business owner. So let's explore some of the reasons why some people don't actually hire a VA or extend their teams within their business. So the first reason, which I think is the most common reason why a lot of people don't bring on board a VA, is they simply don't know where to start. They haven't had any experience in, recruiting or developing the team or leading the teams. And it can be a very daunting process if you don't have any guidelines or you don't have anything in place to help you throughout that process as well. And the second reason can be that maybe you've tried to hire a VA in the past or a team member, and you kind of threw your hands up in the air and things didn't turn out. Things may have gone pear-shaped, and you end up saying that I can do it faster myself. It's too hard to find people who are committed as much as me. But the only problem with this type of thinking is it actually limits your progress and your momentum in your business as well. So sometimes you need to step back and ask different types of questions. And one type of question could be, for example, how did I prepare myself to actually bring on this VA into my business? Or how did I support my VA when I brought her on the business? And this gives us the process of reflecting and gaining our own learnings of what we can do differently to become more resourceful, so we do have the right VA into our business. And the third one can be simply is you may already have a VA and you're wanting to learn more leadership strategies so that you can create an engaged team, and also one that you can understand their values and their motivation drivers so that they become more engaged and become high performing as a team member as well. We know the value of leadership is being able to inspire your team members into action. And this is a critical thing to look at, is how are you leading your team at the moment? And perhaps you are thinking about developing those skills as well. And some people, they're too afraid to hire a VA from a fear base. So a fear base could be, well, what if? What if the person takes my clients? Or what if that person shares my formulas and my secret sauce to other people as well? But I want you to remember is what's unique about your business is you, and nobody can run your business or, do the skills that you do except you. So don't be scared of doing that, because again, if you don't outsource, then the potential of business growth actually slows down within your business. So I'm here for you today in this masterclass, and for whatever reason why you're listening to this, maybe this replay, or you've actually turned up for the live masterclass, I want you to know that I'm 100% committed to give you information that you can implement immediately into your business. And these strategies that I'm going to share with you are the same strategies that I teach my workplace leaders in the corporate arena to lead and champion their teams. And I'll be holding nothing back. So I'm here for you to ask questions as well at the end of the masterclass. Now, the questions that you ask me at the end of the masterclass will not be recorded for the replays. I want to keep everyone's privacy intact, and I will do a separate recording with those questions and then release that video at a later stage for our community. So hold on to your questions until the end of the masterclass, and then I'm happy to answer them for you. In return, I want you to be 100% committed as well. So please turn off your distractions, make sure that you've closed your door, make sure that people within the organisation or your business or your home understand that you are attending a live masterclass so you can get the most benefits out of this masterclass today. And I will also be sharing with you some more opportunities to expand your leadership skills as well later throughout the masterclass as well. So let's get started right now. So I promised you a short exercise to begin with. So let's look at using a post-its. Grab some post-its if you've got them available, or you can write it down on a piece of paper, but grab your post-its. And what we're going to do now is we're going to look at how you can get really clear on what tasks you want to outsource, also what skill sets are required and what resources are required for your virtual assistant as well. So as you grab your post-its, create 3 columns like the picture in front of you. One column is going to be about all the tasks that you want to outsource. And then the second one is the skills that are required to get that task performed effectively by your virtual assistant, and also the resources your virtual assistant needs to have as well to complete those tasks as well. Create your brainstorming, take a moment, put some relaxation music on, go through those, put it up on your wall or on your flip charts or around the office, and go through that process so you're really, really clear exactly what you want to look for. So say, for example, if I want to outsource a VA to actually look at posting my posts on Facebook, so I put down to actually post the posts on Facebook, but then also I need to know the skills that person needs to have as well. So that person needs to have a good understanding of Facebook, for example. If I want my VA to create graphics, that person, she may need or he may need to have a really good understanding of Canva, for example. So that's the software that person would need as well. So it's going through it and breaking it all the way down to being very specific so you know exactly what tasks to do. And then you can outsource that as well. And that gives you more clarity even before you go through the interviewing process of exactly what skills that you need to outsource. Now, the skills you'll need to outsource, they may be skills you need to outsource right now, but also create your dream list as well of all the skills that you want to outsource to your VA as your business expands as well. Now, what are some of the benefits of being able to confidently lead your team and also to bring on team members and outsource? Obviously, it's going to increase your productivity because you're going to have people assigned to a specific task who are experts within that field. Remember, you're juggling so many balls in the air and you can't be the expert with all your skills that you have to do within business. And if you try and persevere and try and learn those skills, well, obviously it's going to take you a longer time before you can actually grow your business as well. It's going to increase your flexibility. So you'll be able to, work at a time that's going to work for you, do the skills that you want to do, and be able to have your VA and everyone else to support you in those time-based skills as well. Also, the skills that your business needs right now is important to get that addressed right now and not put it off. It'll slow you down so much. And many business owners, when they first start out, have tech issues where they don't understand how everything integrates together, and that can slow you down as far as getting more clients on board. So you've got more finances to invest in your VA as well. And the other thing is to free up your time to be able to grow and scale your business and have a business that you're not exhausted at the end of each day having to do it all by yourself as well. So just imagine, paint the picture in front of you. If you were able to develop the leadership skills and the business savviness to have a team that's highly motivated, highly engaged, really professional, aligned with your values, engaged, and it's a joy to work with, and you're energized when you communicate with them as well. And that is all possible if you select the right team member and you also ensure that your team member is supported and you lead with confidence along the way. So as I promised, stay with me to the end of the masterclass and you're going to get my roles and responsibilities Kickstarter bundle. This is a bundle that's going to give you all your templates and some guidelines from you to go from creating your tasks, creating the roles and responsibilities, creating your key performance indicators and tracking their results so you can track and help your team member and further look at the development needs that they need to have to move your business to the next level. Stay into the end of it and you'll get the link to download it in this masterclass. Let's get into the most common mistakes. The first mistake is no preparation. You know, you've been putting it off. You know that you need to get a team member on board. Your business is starting to grow. You're feeling exhausted. At night time, you go home and, you know, your mind is still full of business. You've got anxious. You've got anxiety. And you're thinking to yourself, how can I cope with all of this work? That's the first mistake because you've waited till it's too long instead of being having the ability to vision and to put everything in preparation first. So the most important key here is to be proactive and not reactive to the situation that's actually happening to you right now. Here are the 3 keys that will help you to prepare for your team member. Firstly, go back to the exercise that I asked you to do with the Post-its and get really, really clear on all of the tasks, all of the skills, and also on all the resources that are required for your virtual assistant to be successful within their role. And the second one is create your systems and your procedures and your processes so they will guide your VA, so your VA will know exactly what's required of them and also your expectations as well. I often call this create a folder or create a virtual folder around your standard operating procedures. And in those procedures, it'll be, you know, how your VA can actually be guided through those tasks that you've assigned them, but also of how they can, how they need to communicate to you if they can't attend the day, if they're sick, you know, what are the communication that's required from you? You know, what are the expectations? What are the ways that they can actually perform their work a lot faster and quicker than what they're doing at the moment. And the other thing that's very important is what I did, a good strategy when I first hired my very first VA was I got them to create the operations manual themselves. So every task I assigned them, I asked them to do a walkthrough video of exactly what they were doing and also all the other procedures they need to do. So I had a record of that specific task just in case that team member left and I had to reassign a different team member to them, I didn't have to start from scratch. So that's a really good, effective way to get your VA to actually create your operations manual for you and also to make sure that it's updated and all the changes are made and modified as well. So that can be a task you can assign your VA along with the other tasks that you're giving them as well. The second mistake is no interviewing process. So now you know what you want to outsource. You know the VA that you want to bring on board, but you're still not too sure of how are you going to determine if this VA is going to be the right fit for you or not. So let's go through some of the questions you need to ask and also some ways that will help you to go through that process. So during the interviewing process, I like to actually give people an activity to do before they turn up for the interviewing process. And that activity can be, maybe I want you to create a video to introduce yourself. And during that video, I want you to tell me why you're a good fit for this position and what are your goals and aspirations within, for your own career as well. Doing that will determine if that person is committed, because if they're not committed, they won't do the video. And if they don't do the video, then you wouldn't bring them on board because they didn't take action. And you only want to bring on board people you can rely on and people who are action takers and willing to learn. So that's a really good way to create an activity to gauge their commitment level and to also engage their skill level as well. So it's many interviewing panels that I've been on personally. We have assigned people, the interviewees, a task or an activity to see their skill set level and more so to see their commitment level as well. You will be asking them to send through their resume. Once you receive the video, if you use a video, once you receive that in their resume and other supporting evidence of their skills, then you're going to take notes of some questions you can ask them around those skills as well. But it's very important that you also remember to build rapport during the interviewing process. Many people may fear or have anxiety about interviews. So some people can be excellent in what they do, but when it comes to interviews, they freeze up. So understand that as well, but also understand that having that test or giving them tests is a better indicator sometimes than during the interviewing process itself. Because as I said, some people aren't their best when they're actually interviewed. So that's a really good way to be able to gauge and make better decisions. The other thing is really to listen to what they say and talk less and have your questions prepared as well. So some of the questions you're going to ask will be skill set questions, but also a lot of behaviour type questions as well. And often you'll see that in interviewing panels where they'll say, a behaviour type question can be something like, tell me a time you needed to communicate a message to someone else and you felt really uncomfortable around communicating it. How did you approach that? What did you do? Because communication is really important as well. So if you check on google.com and you do a search on interview behaviour questions, you'll find lots and lots of questions there for you. So grab yourself, some of those questions and really listen to the response and go deeper into the answers as well. Third mistake is no onboarding process. Now, having your VA come on board, there's a lot of concerns, and the VA could be feeling a bit anxious about have they chosen the right business to work with. So it's important for you to have a really good onboarding experience for your VA so that they feel really, really supported and encouraged to communicate freely with you as well. So a really good onboarding process is creating yourself your onboarding checklist, which I'm going to give you a copy of my checklist or some suggestions that you can use when you're looking at creating the onboarding experience. So important to communicate your vision, to communicate your values and your mission, and also expectations. But not just expectations to your team member, but also expectations that your team member needs from you. So it's about asking that question, how can I support you through this role? Or what expectations do you require from me so I can lead you effectively? And at times you're going to have those tough conversations. So at times, there's going to be things that when you're working with people, it's not going to always be easy working with people. We all have different communication styles. So understanding conflict resolution is a really good skill set that will help you in those difficult times where you actually have to speak up and maybe give feedback to your team member as well in a way that's still as productive, that's supportive, and it doesn't dishevel them. So this is something that you will work with, when you work and continue working with your leadership skills, so you understand people and you can adapt your communication style to that specific person as well. So here's the handout that you'll be receiving. So on the replay page, when I post this video, there'll be a link on the replay page. So make sure you go and visit it and download this checklist that you can go through these items on the checklist, and then you can start to create some more onto that as well. But this is a great starter point for you. I remember a time when I was employed into a company. It was a remote position. And there was absolutely no onboarding process at all. There was no systems in place and there was no structure. I was supposed to learn by just listening to what my mentor told me and remembering everything. And it was a horrific experience. I felt like I wasn't supported. I felt like I was at times an idiot, because I had to ask the same question a few times because there was no structure around me. And my mentor became very impatient with me as well because I had to interrupt her all the time as well. So it's so important that the onboarding experience, that you as a business owner understands that when people come on board your business, they feel a little bit uncertain as well. Obviously they want to make a good impression. There's lots of thoughts going through their mind as around, have I chosen the right business owner to work with? Is this the right business for me to be in? Am I going to be treated fairly? All of these fears go on their head as well. So having an onboarding process and a manual or to hand them is something that's going to really put them at ease so that they feel supported and they want to continue working with you as well. The fourth mistake is no communication feedback loop. So how will you communicate every day with your team member so that they feel supported and also you're not interrupted during the day as well, but also with the communication loop as well, ensuring that you have some processes and you can track performance and you keep the engagement level up because you're showing the team member that you're invested in them to support them as well as a team leader. So in your communication feedback, everyone likes to feel valued, they feel important. Conflict only occurs when there's a lack of communication or a misunderstanding. So remembering when you're working with people, you will have a whole different can of worms to handle with as well. But when you look at your communication loop, during the day, you don't want to be disturbed, but you want to be available for your team member as well. And when you first bring them on board, you may have to make yourself more available than if the team member is already experienced within your business already as well. But to have some sort of systems like I love Slack. I think Slack is an amazing software program that you can use, that they can just send you a message quickly. You can turn the notifications on, notifications off, depending on what you're doing, and you can communicate directly to your team member using Slack. Other ways or visual ways that I like doing as far as project management goes, I like to use Trello boards, which is a very visual project manager, great for VAs who who like visual, who are the creators, who like to move around boards between each column. It's a great software project management tool. And also you got Asana, for example, if someone is very detailed, if they're very list orientated, and they're like working list as well. But there's many more out there as well, but they're just three that I think work really effectively together. So you would choose Trello boards if someone's very visual, and you would use Asana if someone is very detailed. And of course you'd have Slack open so that you can communicate quickly with each other during the day. Also with your communication loop, it's important to have those weekly reports sent to you, those tracking reports of performance, of engagement or whatever. So really take a moment to think about what are your key performance indicators that you actually need to make sure that progress is being made within that project. So I would recommend a weekly meeting where you catch up on a regular basis at the same time, and you talk about, what's going to be this week's focus. What are they going to be focusing on? Are there any sticking points? Anything they should be aware of? Anything that you should be aware of that they're having struggle with or any problems with? So that communication loop is always there, and it's a great opportunity to make sure you maintain good relationships with your virtual assistant as well. So the fifth mistake is the upskilling or no training. So what can happen here is sometimes we forget that things change, especially in technology, in business, that there needs to be upskilling and training for your virtual assistant as well. And you also need to allocate time for your virtual assistant to actually be able to go through short programs and courses that's going to help them to upskill their specific skills so they can get more opportunities and more advancement in your business as well. So upskilling and training, it allows you to increase the skill level of your virtual assistant, and maybe you can upskill them with a different task that they want to learn, and then you can hand that off to them at a later stage once they show that they're proficient in doing that task as well. Gives them more motivation instead of just doing the same old stuff all the time as well. It's also a great way to reward high performance as well, because for example, if you've got a virtual assistant and you're very limited on your budget as per how much an hour you can pay for your virtual assistant, you can package up more value for them to be working with you by offering them training courses or upskilling or things like that, which helps them to develop their skills. And at the same time too, you can outsource more information to them as well, because they're more skilled in different areas as well. And ask your team member, and once you put them onto a training program and you've developed their skills for them, ask them then to teach you the skill they've just learned. And that embeds the knowledge that they've learned from the program, because if you implement your knowledge that you learn from a training program within 48 hours, there's a higher likely factor that you'll be able to maintain that information and implement it straight away, so you become efficient in that information as well. Too many times people go on programs, they gather the information, but they do nothing with it as well. So that's a really good strategy that you can think about using as well. So hiring your VA success path, 3 major areas it's really important to look at. And one is preparing for your VA. Second one is your interviewing and recruiting, and then the onboarding and your training as well. So take those baby steps and work through each one and get very, very detailed, and put time aside so that you do actually spend time with this, because there's nothing worse than bringing on someone in your team and finding out they're not the right fit, and you really didn't do your due diligence to actually get everything lined up. Because at the end of the day, if they're not a good fit, then you've got to go through this process all again, and you're always going backwards instead of going forwards in your business as well. So the 5 common mistakes to recap: 1, not preparing for your business. 2, interviewing process not set up. 3, the onboarding process, creating that experience hasn't been outlined. For the communication, feedback and loop, and in there, how to handle conflict and have those difficult conversations. And of course, upskilling and training, give your team member more opportunities to be inspired, to be engaged when they know that you value them and you also invest in them as well. As promised, 4 ways to hire a virtual assistant without paying a cent. So if you want a virtual assistant and you still can't afford one yet, here are some simple ways that you could start to explore. One is take a moment and look at your community, and maybe you've got clients who are raving fans. They're the ones who buy everything from you. They jump onto, they respond to you, they love you, and they want to get involved with what you're doing. So one way you can do that is you can ask some volunteers within your community to support you and do some roles. And in exchange for the volunteer, you may offer them a mentoree program. A mentoree program could be, I really appreciate you volunteering your time. In exchange, I will give you a coaching session or a consulting session or something to help you to, to inspire, to motivate you, achieve your personal goals, achieve your professional goals as well. The other one is your barter partnership, where you find someone else who has a skill that you want to learn, and you want to help them to help you as well. So there's a barter. The only thing with bartering, I'm not a big fan of bartering, because sometimes I find all my bartering relationships that I've had have always gone pear-shaped. I've always found that I've been giving more than what they do, and the momentum drops off. But with the bartering, again, it's setting up the conditions, the expectations, how many hours you're going to give each, et cetera, et cetera. It's having all those expectations and conversations in place before you engage in a bartering partnership. And, of course, then create a trainee program. Sometimes you can approach schools, universities, of students who are looking for work experience, and they can come on board into your company and get work experience in exchange for a reference. But just make sure you check with the guidelines as far as your industrial bodies go around doing that as well. Just make sure that it's legal to do, depending on what country you're in as well. So those four ways of looking at it is your volunteers, your mentoree program, your barter program, and your trainee program. And, of course, those could end up turning into paid positions as your business earns more income, and also as your volunteers, everything else, want to get more involved in your business as well. So I promised you as well about how can you learn more with your leadership skills, how you can be in a community, how you can keep on growing and scaling your business so you're not left all alone by yourself as well. But before I go in that, I do have an ask for you. Remember I mentioned about implementing the knowledge from training programs or webinars that you're working within 48 hours. I would like you to take a moment and go through that post-it exercise that I asked you to do right at the beginning of the masterclass within 48 hours. And that will actually ensure that you take action, and that will inspire you as well to go to the next step as well. But I also believe that when you go alone within business, it can be quite hard. When you're by yourself and you're doubting yourself and you're not getting the results that you want to get because you're feeling disappointment or disillusionment, at times you may even feel paralyzed, that you don't know even how you're going to move forward. And it can be quite stressful as well. And you may be caught in the weeds trying to work at everything, but you don't have any direction really as to what to focus on next. And sometimes, as I said, the isolation, it's tough. It's tough in business when you're by yourself and you feel as you have no idea, no clarity on what to move on to the next day. So there's going to be tough days that you're going to have as well, because you're trying to do everything yourself. And of course, we know that we're on a mission and you want to get it out there. You want to create your thriving business. You know you're good at what you do. You know you're excellent at what you do, but you seem to stop yourself a lot because you're doing it all yourself. And you simply want to make more progress faster and quicker and get the results that you want in your business as well. So these are some of the things that can happen when you're not in a community and you're going alone. So obviously, you may be thinking about, how can I go into a community? Do I need more information? Now, I'm going to tell you a couple of things, truths here, and this is business savviness. I know that if you keep doing what you're doing at the moment and you're staying isolated and you're not in a community and you're not investing in yourself, then things will not change. You'll be in the same position as what you were maybe a year ago or 6 months again. Your second option, you can go, right, it's time to do something about this. It's time for me to understand the value of having people around me, understanding that when I scale and grow my business, I also need as well to have a roadmap and structure for me to follow as well, so that you can make more progress faster because you know exactly what to focus on in the next stage of your business. And that to me is really important. So I want to introduce to you, firstly, my Aspiring Course Creators membership. Now, that sits under the umbrella of the Aspiring Course Creators Academy. Now, the Aspiring Course Creators membership is a community that focuses on growing and scaling your business while leveraging proven strategies that are working, so you can champion your dream team and expand and get faster results with the good leadership and self-empowerment principles as a base for your mindset. So now it is time for you to really make a decision. Are you really serious about having a thriving online business and also having the capability to lead your team with confidence? What you will achieve when you join the Aspiring Course Creators membership. You're going to have a really highly engaged, supportive community that is uplifting and inspiring. You're going to feel connected and have your go-to people to go to when you need support. When you have those days that you start doubting yourself or you feel disappointment, having that team around you is going to keep you going. It's going to keep you moving forward, so you never, ever, ever give up or get disillusioned. Also, it gives you the opportunity to bounce off ideas of others and to gain new insights and perspectives, to tap into the brilliance of others and also into my experience as well, as I will be guiding you and leading you throughout the membership. You will be able to create alliances and JV partners, and you'll be able to test your ideas out with your trusted community members. I know recently I wanted to do podcasting and I was able to reach out to my community, and within 2 hours, I was able to get 15 women who wanted to present alongside of me, who wanted to co-host with my podcasting and my live videos. This is something you don't get if you haven't got a trusted community that will work with you. You'll also know your exact next step to take, because you will have a success roadmap to follow to make sure you're focusing on the right thing at the right time within your business. No more confusion, no more distractions, just knowing what's your next step that will fall into the pathway of you to get the fastest success straight away. And you'll be guided and to achieve more when you follow that success path instead of jumping around chasing many different shiny objects that sometimes distract us as business leaders. The ripple effect then will go into you'll have a thriving online business that builds your lifestyle of choice, to have more freedom and to have more choices and get energized and excited as to what is possible. So Aspiring Course Creators membership is only $47 per month, and there's no locked-in contracts, and you will never ever have a price increase as long as you stay in good standing in the membership. And there's also a VIP option. If you want to move faster and get personal coaching with me on a one-to-one basis as well, then you can take up the VIP option as well, so that you will make more progress and make more faster with a coach who understands you, who supports you, who spends time with you and is able to drive you along that path of success around creating a thriving business. I bring to you to the table 20 years of experience as a counsellor, as a coach, NLP facilitator, trainer, and business strategist.
Wanting even just tips and tricks on managing different conflict techniques, not just about how to manage them, but what sits better with you. So what sings to you and what you're comfortable doing, not necessarily a script. And even when you put something together with Lee, it very much is centered around what you're comfortable with and how you can actually deliver that. So it's actually coming from you as your own authentic self, not coming from some kind of curriculum-based education module, because it's real life. It is immediately applicable into your space that you're going to transfer it no matter which role you go into or which career you're going to, because it's going to be something that sits within your own psyche that you're going to remember, because it's going to be something that you can actually flow more with. You don't get that in other curriculums. You don't get that in other educations. With Lee, you get the counselling and the neuro-linguistic programming that's centred around your current environment, that takes away all the responsibility being necessary about you, but it embraces both the environment and you. So it's completely different because it actually positions you in the environment. You're not going to get that in other curriculums at all.
I guess managing how I react and respond to challenges around me. So an unexpected challenge comes up in the environment, then thinking through how to actually, like, practical ways to manage that. That's been a brilliant part of working with Lee I've been able to dig down on that. So I feel much more equipped with some practical tools and processes to work with that as I go into the new role, managing my responses and reactions to things, managing my workplace stress. Another big area we worked on was time mastery, self-mastery to enable good time management. That's going to be massive. Lee shared with me about the concept of Pomodoro timers, which wasn't even a part of the course, but it just came up in the course of coaching and turned out to be super helpful for me. So that clarity on then what I do with my time and how I interact with other people and what my priorities are. It actually goes through all the stages, like from the why you're looking at enhancing your leadership skills, and then through to enabling you to have difficult conversations with people, which was, and you can really hone into the areas that were personally difficult for you in the past, which was my case, or that are difficult for you now, and get a script for you to work with and role play with Lee on how to do that, like how to actually perform that process, and then go away and pretty much memorize the concept or the points by heart.
I thought a lot about joining it, and then it's the typical excuses. I don't have enough time, and I'm tired, and do I need to invest this in myself? But it it's been absolutely worth it. Like the support that you provide, number one, is fantastic. You know, there's lots of emails, the links, the technology. I'm not a technology freak, so I get really intimidated, but I just found everything so easy to navigate. The modules are so well set out. Usually when you go to training, you get bombarded with this information. You walk out the room, you're really motivated, and then you just push the material under your desk, and a week later you just do the same stuff. With this, what I've loved is it sort of scaffolds the learning. You get the information, you work it through, you listen to videos, there's some preparation that you have to do. You're being held accountable, which I like. And then in our sessions that we have, it's really not just repeating all the information that you would get in a normal thing where someone stands in front of the room. It challenged me, you know, I had to participate, I had to prepare, and then there's follow through. Like the video that I had to do with someone, we rehearsed quite a bit of role play, and that challenged me because it made me aware of certain things that I do. And after I had my difficult conversation, I had to give you feedback. So the reflection on that, it was amazing. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of the program.
As well. There's no locked-in contracts. Yeah, your price will always remain the same as long as you're in good standing. And remember, the VIP option is available for you as well. So let's look at the success path. So this is one stage of my success path. When we look at the success path in the Aspiring Creators membership, you know, we go from the mindset, then we go to the preparing your team member. We look at selecting your right team member, and we look at onboarding your team member, and then, of course, strategies of how you're going to lead your team member and champion. Now, this is just one stage of the Aspiring Creators membership. There's actually 5 stages with that, and once before that is about, you know, building your list, building your audience, knowing your strategic strategies, knowing your marketing strategies you're going to use, knowing your tactical strategies that you're going to use, launching and following the launch framework. All of these come on board as well. But when we're looking at bringing on your team members, such as what this masterclass is all about, this is the pathway to creating that dream team that you so much want to bring on board in your team as well. So what's included in the membership? Well, you're going to get a monthly live mastermind breakout session where you're going to come to the session and you are going to talk about your challenges. You're going to talk about your wins, your celebrations, your stories, and you're there to support each other as well. So you get one of those sessions, which is a 90-minute session, and that session is led by me personally. You'll also get weekly Q&A recordings. So you submit your questions in your private community group. I grab those questions together. I put together recordings for you, and they're uploaded to your personal membership site so you can replay those recordings whenever you choose. You also get a short topic of the month, so a very short video, a 10-minute video around a specific topic of the month, and then they'll be uploaded to your membership site, and you'll get a bite-sized cheat sheet around that. So that may be a topic around leadership, it may be a topic about marketing, but the topics that I select is always determined by what's happening in my membership site right now and what my community needs right now as well. Your community, your support team, your go-to people, that's absolutely priceless. So, you know, I encourage everyone to be proactive in there, to encourage everyone in there, and to actually, you know, connect with everyone in there so you've got your go-to people when you need to have them as well. There's a new feature which I've just brought on just recently, and it's called our book club. And I love our book club. So each month, this will be your second live session that you'll have with me. We select a book for the month. You will come to the session. It's a fun night. It's a connection night. You bring wine and your snacks with you, and we discussed the book club. So we all talk about connecting and the topic of the book club that we've selected for the month that are actually created by the leading authors in each industry as well. I love the book club. It's a really great way to connect with other members in your community. If you choose the VIP package and you want to work with me on a one-to-one basis, you get your monthly one-on-one personal session with me. You get 20% VIP discount card that you can use on any service, any programs that I have in my organization. And you also get a 90-day step-by-step launch plan, everything outlined for you. You get your templates, your emails, everything that's outlined for you as well. So today you have a choice now. You can take the basic membership for $47 per month, or you can take the VIP membership, which includes the basic membership, for $297 with a one-on-one personal attention with me. And remember, no locked-in contracts. Your choice, it's all about a month by month. So, if it's not the right fit for you, all you've invested is 1 month of membership. If it's not the right fit for you, then you let us know, and then we remove you from the membership. No questions answered. No questions asked. We just, trust that you've made the right decision, so you can leave whenever you want to. There's no more risk than that. How easy is that? And also remember, we're open for enrollments now. So what if you could have all that support, have it ongoing, connect with community members, be part of a community, and start to tap into the wisdom of everyone in the community, know your pathway, know what step to take, and feel supported and make more progress when you're in a community than being by yourself. So the enrollments are open now. Jump on board. The link is included in the webinar. If you're watching the replay, the link will be on the replay page as well for you to jump over there as well. So now let's go into the Q&A session as well. Now this session will not be recorded, so you can speak freely, and also it can maintain your privacy as well for the membership there as well. Take care and talk to you again very soon. Bye.